Please welcome our guests from Evans High School. They are the Trojans. And they'll be taking on your Wekiva High School Mustangs. Let's meet the teams, beginning with our guests from Evans, and starting with their reserves. Number 9, Shailene Watson. Number 6, Kenya Verdu. And number 11, Sydney. And now the starting lineup, beginning with their leadoff hitter, shortstop, number 17, Jerlasia Mosley. Batting second is center fielder, number 1, Mimi Mifunga. Third in the lineup for the Trojans and in the pitcher circle to start today's game is number 2, Kaylee Cheney. The cleanup hitter is number 18, Taikia Justice. In the 5-hole and behind the plate at the bottom of each inning, number 12, Victoria Anderson. Sixth in the lineup for the Trojans is first baseman, number 15, Crystal. Batting seventh is catcher, number 7, DeAndrea Harris. Batting eighth is left fielder, number 14, Edna Teston. And finally, for the Trojans, in right field, batting ninth is number 5, Erica Leggett. And the Trojans are managed by head coach Jacqueline Pereira. And now, let's meet the starting lineup for your Wekiva High School Mustangs. Starting with their managers, Kedrick Cooper-Fletcher, Benasia St. Fleur, and Jaria Hartman. Their reserves, number 35, Lyncia Joseph, and number 34, Leah Destine. And the starting lineup for the Mustangs. Batting first, leadoff hitter in behind the plate at the top of each inning, number 5, Camila Delgado. Second in the lineup for the Mustangs is right fielder, number 1, Alicia Kimber Gaines. Third in the lineup for the Mustangs, shortstop, number 33, Chanel Rodriguez. The cleanup hitter for the Mustangs and in the pitcher circle to start today's game, number 21, Ariana Garcia. In the 5-hole, number 23, Macy Fix. Batting 6 for the Mustangs, center fielder, number 32, T.T. Thomas. Seventh in the lineup for the Mustangs is left fielder, number 12, Kyla Florestil. Batting 8th for the Mustangs, number 22, Emily Varela. In the 9-hole, number 2, Chalia McCoy. And the DP for the Mustangs is number 3, Karia Tyler. The Mustangs are managed by head coach Taylor McGowan and assistant coach Keisha Brown Griffin. And now we invite you to please stand as we honor America with the singing of our national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Once again, we welcome everyone out to Mustang Field, and we remind you that we are live streaming this afternoon's game. If you have friends and family back in Orlando, elsewhere in Apopka, or anywhere in the world, and they were not able to join us in person for this afternoon's festivities, I'll let them know, send them a message right now. They can tune in live. We simulcast in two places, NFHSnetwork.com, the official online home of the Florida High School Athletic Association. If you're not a member, though, that is okay. We offer it absolutely free on our YouTube channel, Wekiva Sports. Just open up the YouTube app on your favorite computer, smart TV, or mobile device, search for Wekiva Sports, and it will come right up. We also have on-demand replay available of the senior night festivities that occurred just before the game. That is on its own separate live stream. We encourage you to watch that at your convenience. Meanwhile, we want to welcome you to Mustang Field. For those of you who are watching online, thanks for being part of our broadcast today. Our last broadcast of Season 18. I suppose technically we will be broadcasting spring football later, but I personally consider that more to be the first event of Season 19 rather than the last event of Season 18. But in any case, we welcome you to Mustang Field, and as we enter the top of the first inning, once again, the leadoff hitter for the Trojans is shortstop number 17, Jerlasia Mosley. And we also want to welcome to the broadcast my colleague these last 17 years and longtime Apopka sports journalist Neil Fisher, here to take you through this afternoon's contest. I had to steal yours.
Thank you. And we are underway with strike one, the swinging foul ball to Mosley. And we'll have the defensive lineup for you in just a minute as there's strike two. So an 0-2 count to Mosley, first hitter of the ball game. Evans comes in at 3-8. And that'll be 1-2. Wekiva at 4-10. So both these teams looking to get a victory in the last regular season game, head into the playoffs with some momentum. And a 2-2 count now. That's Delgado behind the plate. And that's into foul territory, so the count remains 2-2. Everybody back to your assigned positions. Due up after Mosley is Mfunga, as the count now goes full at 3-2. And then the pitcher, Cheney. So here we go, first full count of the afternoon. And it'll be ball four, leadoff walk drawn by Mosley. Actually, excuse me, it's a 3-2 count now. And now there's the walk on the first full count of the afternoon. Mosley draws the walk to reach first base. And now at the plate, number 1, the center fielder, Malamba Mfunga. So Mfunga steps in with the runner at first base. Exactly what you want if you're on offense in the first inning. She squares the bunt. That'll be a foul ball. Strike 1. Squares again. Strike 2. Mustang Field, right next to the 429 the site, as that ball sliced into foul territory. Actually, there was no contact. It's a strike. So, strike 3. That's the first out. Can't get it more emphatically than the strikeout, and that'll bring Cheney up to the plate with the runner at first base.
Next to the plate with the strikeout recorded for the Mustangs by Garcia is pitcher number 2, Kaylee Cheney.
Down to second base, a throw. Got her. No slide from Mosley, and that's the second out of the inning.
Caught stealing at second base. 2 away now for the Trojans.
There's ball 4 to
Cheney
Cheney.
takes first base on balls. Next to the plate for the Trojans, first baseman number 18, Taikia Justice.
So Justice steps in, slaps that first ball, first offering into foul territory, strike 1. Strike 2 now, the foul ball. Ball slapped again into foul territory, the bouncer. So count remains 0-2. Evans again with that 3-8 record. Wekiva with the 4-10 record. Evans 2-3 at home, only 1-5 on the road. That'll take the count to 1-2 up high. And outside, Justice at the plate with the runner at first base. That's where the importance of that getting caught stealing was. Mosley led off the game with a walk, but was then out trying to steal second base. You'd have 2 runners on with 1 out instead of 1 runner with 2 outs. They make that strike 3, the tag, and so the leadoff walk comes to naught.
That takes us to the middle of the first inning, and despite the walk, no runs scored on no hits with no Mustang errors, leaving one on base, and the score remains 0-0 at the end of half an inning. We'll be back with more from Mustang Field after a quick break. Just so that you're aware, you will hear silence during the breaks between half innings. Do not adjust your television set. That's just because we have to mute the audio so that YouTube doesn't get us for copyrighted music. But we'll be right back. As we enter the bottom of the first inning, leadoff hitter for the Mustangs is catcher number 5, Camila Delgado.
And Delgado, of course, the face of the Wekiva Mustangs this year, batting .792. Yes, .792. As she looks at ball 1. 20 RBIs, 5 doubles, 5 triples, and 4 home runs for the catcher today. So certainly the perfect leadoff hitter, and now she's looking at the 2-0 count. On the mound for Evans is Kaylee Cheney, the junior. We'll have your defensive lineup in just a minute at ball 3. So 1 ball away from getting the leadoff hitter on base. Three straight balls thrown by Cheney, and make that 4 in a row. And the leadoff hitter for Wekiva reaching first base. Delgado reaches first base on the walk, and that'll bring up to the plate the right fielder, number 1, Elijah Kimber Gaines. So Gaines settles into the box with a runner at first base, make that a runner at second base on the wild pitch. And Wekiva threatening, nobody out in the top of the first inning. Make that ball 2 and a runner at third base. As that ball gets away from the catcher. Harris. And still nobody out. So an opportunity for Wekiva to break out first, draw first blood if you want to use that old saying. And the pitch, make that ball 3. And there's ball 4. So 8 straight balls now thrown by Cheney to open up this ball game. And runners at first and third, nobody out. Rodriguez stepping into the plate. The walk drawn by Gaines that puts runners on first and third. And now at the plate, shortstop number 33, Janelle Rodriguez. Rodriguez stepping in, golden opportunity for her as well as Wekiva to take that early lead. And there's a strike, the first of the game thrown by Cheney. Strike 1 to Rodriguez. And she steps in with a .556 batting average, certainly very healthy. As that'll even the count at 1-1. 7 RBIs, 3 doubles, and a triple. Senior night at Mustang Field, 6 of them being honored today. And that'll be ball 2 as well as 1-0 lead for Wekiva. Delgado crosses home plate on the wild pitch, taking the score to 1-0 in favor of Wekiva. So now a 3-0 count. So Rodriguez steps back in and make that. And actually, excuse me, it's a 2-2 count. And strike 3. Rodriguez unable to catch up with the heat. And that'll be the first out of the inning. Runner remains at second base. Rodriguez retired on the strikeout. That brings up the pitcher, number 21, Ariana Garcia. And ball 1. As the runners continue to advance, Gaines taking third base. 1-0 lead for Wekiva. They've yet to get a hit. Cheney getting a much-needed strikeout for the first out of the inning. Make that another strike. And now a 1-1 count. And that'll be ball 3. So a 3-1 count. Garcia, chance to help her out of her own cause. She's batting .520 out of that cleanup position with 19 RBIs and 4 doubles. And slaps that ball. Slow roller. Nice job by the second baseman Anderson to get the second out, but Garcia does her job. Gets the run in. It's 2-0 Wekiva in the bottom of the first.
Anderson throws the 4-3 ground out to put one away for the Mustangs. However, it does pick up the RBI and put 2 runs on the board for Wekiva.
So your defensive lineup.
Now at the plate for the Mustangs, number 23, Macy Fix.
So Fix steps in. She's batting .231 for the season. Does have 10 RBIs. That's second on the team along with 2 doubles. And your defensive lineup. Behind the plate is Harris. Ball sliced into foul territory. 0-2 count now. Justice at first base. Anderson at second. In the hole is Mosley. Crystal at third. And your outfield left to right, Teston, Mufunga, and Leggett. 2-0 lead for Wekiva. They've yet to get a hit. A couple of walks, a couple of wild pitches, and Garcia doing exactly what she's supposed to. hitting the ball to the right side, and Fix unable to catch up with the heat. Second strikeout for Cheney, but Wekiva, with no hits, takes the 2-0 lead heading into the top of the second inning.
Cheney records the swinging strikeouts to take us to the end of the first inning. The Mustangs putting up 2 runs on no hits with no Trojan errors, leaving none on base. And the score stands 2-0 at the end of 1. Back with more from Mustang Field after a quick break. As we enter the top of the second inning, the Trojans begin in the 5th position of their lineup with second baseman number 12, Victoria Anderson.
So Anderson in her first at-bat looks at ball 1. Garcia on the mound for Wekiva. Cristo, the third baseman, and Harris, the catcher, will be following. Garcia gets her sign, the 1-0 count, make that 2-0 up high. Delgado, the catcher, unable to bring it down. Of course, it doesn't matter because no one's on base. Delgado in her 6th appearance of the season. Five and 2/3 innings. She's given up 17 walks against 9 strikeouts. So certainly an opportunity for her to improve those stats. A 3-0 count now. Wekiva with the 2-0 lead from Mustang Field right next to the 429. And make that ball 4 straight. Anderson starts the top of the second inning, drawing the walk. And now at the plate, third baseman, number 15, Crystal. So Crystal steps in. Huh? Yeah, Crystal S. And there's ball 1. 5 straight balls now. Delivered by Garcia, still looking to find her rhythm and settled into this game today. And now another ball, 2-0 count, 10 straight in the top of the second inning. 2-0 lead for Wekiva. Garcia able to work out of trouble in that first inning after giving up a walk. Actually 2 walks, 2 strikeouts as well, and now a 1-1 count. Excuse me, a 2-1 count as Crystal S steps back in, and that'll be 3-1. So now Evans threatening to open up this second inning with 2 runners aboard. And now we go to the full count with the runner at first, top of the second inning. 2-0 lead for Wekiva. Make that strike 3. The freeze at the plate. Garcia getting exactly what she needs for the first out. Crystal called out on the third strike. That's the first out of the inning and brings to the plate number 7, the catcher, DeAndrea Harris. So Harris will come to the plate with runner at first and 1 out. So your defensive lineup for Wekiva didn't get a chance to call it out in the first inning. As now the count 0-1. Garcia begins the at-bat with the strike. Behind the plate is Delgado. McCoy at first. Fix at second. In the hole is Rodriguez. On the hot corner is Florestel. Is the count now 1-1. And in your outfield, left to right, Florestel, Thomas, and Gaines. So a 1-2 count. Second consecutive inning. Evans has gotten the leadoff hitter on with the walk. So far, no damage. Ball bounced down to the third baseman, Florestel. And no chance to get Harris. She'll be safe at first on the infield single. Slow chopper. Harris reaches first base on the infield single. That'll put runners on first and second base with 1 out. And at the plate, number 14, left fielder, Edna Teston. So Evans threatening to cut into that 2-0 lead. Only 1 out. Runners at first and second. We're in the top of the second inning. Regular season finale for both these teams. Certainly could use a victory heading into the district championship tournaments. And ball 1 delivered by Garcia. Strike 1, a mighty swing for Teston, unable to catch up on that slow delivery. Takes the count to 1-1. And correction, Varela is at third base. Florestel is in left field. And nice job. Oh, ball 2 there. Look for a minute. Actually doesn't matter. That was ball 4. So Teston draws the walk. 4 straight pitches. And no, actually, excuse me, that was not ball 4. So had some confusion out there. Everybody was moving. Teston started to move down to first base. Oh, no, yes, excuse me. The bases are loaded. That is a walk. So that'll bring Leggett up to the plate. Bases loaded with 1 out in the top of the second, her first at-bat. The bases are now loaded as Teston draws the walk. And stepping into the plate, right fielder, number 5, Erica Leggett. So the first pitch from Garcia, golden opportunity for Evans to cut into this lead or even take the lead. Ball 1. Ball bouncing in front of Delgado. Second pitch up high and outside. 2-0 count with the bases loaded. Nowhere to put the batter. And of course Mosley, the leadoff hitter, on deck. 2-1. Garcia getting Leggett to swing on a low pitch. And the delivery outside, 3-1 count. Evans now 1 pitch away from breaking onto the scoreboard, cutting into half, nowhere to put the batter. Garcia gets her sign. And the delivery, full count. So it doesn't get much more dramatic than this. 3-2, 1 out, bases loaded, top of the second. Wekiva holding the 2-0 lead. Last regular season game and senior night for Wekiva. The delivery. And Delgado unable to catch up with that looping foul ball. So everybody back to your assigned positions and the count remains full. Definitely could be a turning point in the game tonight as Garcia delivers strike 3. The curveball does the job, breaks. Leggett unable to follow that break, and 2 outs now. Leggett retired on the strikeout. We now go back to the top of the lineup. Number 17, shortstop, Jerlicia Mosley. So Mosley still one last opportunity to get onto that scoreboard. 2 outs now though, so you do need to reach base. You can't advance the runners with an out. 2-0 lead for Wekiva. Strike 1 on Mosley. She's 0 for 0 today. Led off the game with a walk. Was thrown out trying to steal second base. I'm Neil Fisher. Thank you for joining us on this Tuesday afternoon. We, of course, always hope you enjoy us bringing the game to you as much as we do. You enjoy watching the game as much as we do bringing it to you. Now the count at 1-2. Mosley trying to get on base and get Evans on the board as well. Garcia trying to get the out and out of the inning. That'll be a 1-2 count now. Two nothing lead for Wekiva, top of the second inning. Can Garcia get out of this jam with absolutely no damage? Yes! Strike 3. Another breaking ball, curve ball that finds the right break. And Wekiva still with the 2-0 lead. Garcia gets the strikeout to bring the second inning to an end. We move to the bottom of the second inning with no runs, no runs, 1 hit, 3 batters left on base, and no Wekiva errors. With Wekiva still holding a 2-0 lead. And we'll be back for the bottom of the second inning, and Wekiva looking to extend the 2-0 lead. And due up for Wekiva in the bottom of the second inning, Thomas, Forrestal, and Varela. So Thomas, one of the 6 seniors, is honored tonight. She steps in, leading off the bottom of the second inning, a 1-0 or 2-0 lead for Wekiva, and she looks at ball 1 from Cheney. Make that ball 2. 2-0 count now. Cheney gets her sign, back to work. 2-1. Thomas unable to catch up on that slow curveball, or the slower curveball. Thomas batting 172 on the season with 2 RBIs and a double and a triple. So certainly a chance for her to improve her stats as well as leading off. And setting up Wekiva opportunity to score. 3-1 count now. Mustang Field to sight on this Tuesday afternoon. As we're going to go to another full count. Seen a number of them. We're in the bottom of the second inning. We've seen 4 or 5 of them already. And there's ball 4 as Cheney lost control of that pitch. And Wekiva for the second consecutive inning and the fourth in as many half innings, the leadoff hitter reaches base. Thomas leads off the bottom of the second inning with the walk, and that'll bring to the plate the left fielder, number 12, Florestel. So Florestel at the plate. Runner at first, nobody out after the leadoff walk by Thomas. And she looks at ball 1. It's Kyla Florestel batting in that number 7 position. Florestel batting .067 on the season as she takes a whack to no avail. And an 0-2 count. 2 RBIs for Florestel, and on their way to second was Thomas. So Wekiva threatening to up that 2-0 lead. It's nobody out, runner on second base. And that'll put a runner on third base as the pitch scoots by Harris. 2-1 count on Florestel. Two-one delivery from Cheney with the runner at third and nobody out. And that'll be 3-1, and there won't be an opportunity for Florestel to get the run home. Thomas does it herself, taking advantage of the wild pitch.
Florestel beats the throw home and scores on the wild pitch. Mustangs up 3-0 now.
So
and a 3-1 count at the plate.
So Wekiva with the 3-0 lead without the benefit of a hit. They've drawn 3 walks. And in this particular case, Thomas then advancing to each of the bases via the wild pitch from Cheney. Cheney does have 2 strikeouts, so she certainly is throwing some heat. It's just been she's thrown as many wild pitches as that's ball 4.
Well,
actually that's ball 3.
3-2.
Okay, so 3-2. So another full count. Thomas was full count, and then she drew the walk to start this inning. And
now it's ball 4.
Now it's ball 4, as you heard Mark say. So a pair of walks to start the second inning, 4 in total, given up by Cheney. And that'll bring Varilla, another senior, to the plate.
As Florestel walks to first, next to the plate for the Mustangs is number 22, Emily Varela.
Varela steps in, her first at-bat, first plate appearance of this game. She'll be batting with the runner at first base, nobody out. Wekiva the 3-0 lead, make that a runner at second. So Evans has had opportunities to score. They've gotten the leadoff hitter on in both of their innings. Garcia's coming up with 5 strikeouts, though, to quell any threat that Evans was presenting as the count now goes 2-0. 420 Mustang Field next to 429, the site. Last regular season game for both these teams. As a quick swing there, a shortened swing by Varela does not bear fruit, and so that'll take the count to 2-1. And that catches the outside corner, evens the count at 2-2. Runner at second base, nobody out. Wekiva with the 3-0 lead. They pushed 2 runs across in the first inning, 1 here in the second. And now they'll have a runner at third as Forrestel easily gets the second on another wild pitch. And that'll take the count to 3-2. 3 batters in the second inning. All 3 have faced a full count. So certainly Cheney getting her work out in terms of the amount tonight. And there is, nope, foul ball. Had to wait a couple seconds to see if that ball was tipped. Varela able to, nope, she did not. So apparently it looked like at first she did get a piece of it, but then our ref said no. And that'll be the first out of the inning, and McCoy
Cheney records the swinging strikeout. 1 away for the Mustangs. Next to the plate for Wekiva, number 2, Julia McCoy.
So McCoy with the runner at third base. 3-0 lead for Wekiva. 1 out. And McCoy with the .062 RBI, 3 RBI, so certainly a chance for McCoy to up that RBI total as well. She begins the at-bat with ball 1. Outside, so that'll be a 2-0 count, and make that a 3-0 count. So McCoy 1 pitch away from getting a second runner on the base, and that's exactly what happens. Nice job of Harris to get quickly to that ball, preventing Forrestel from coming home, but still nobody out, 1 out, and runners at first and third as we go back to the top of the lineup.
McCoy walks to first. Wekiva now returns to the top of the card with catcher number 5, Camila Delgado.
So 5 walks this afternoon issued by Cheney. Wekiva yet to get a walk get a hit despite the 3-0 lead, as ball 1 delivered to Delgado. And Delgado began the offensive attack with the walk. Leading off, she scored the first run. So her batting average, as the count now goes 2-0, remains at .792. 20 RBIs, 5 doubles, 5 triples, and 4 home runs for the all-everything Mustang. She's playing catcher today. Her sister on the mound. Rips that ball just foul by Crystal S. down at third base. And there's why they call it the hot corner, Mark.
Yeah, Neil, that one was awfully close and certainly would have picked up an RBI if it had stayed just inside the third base line.
Runners at first and third, 1 out. Wekiva with the 3-0 lead in the bottom of the second inning. And a 2-1 count to Delgado, the leadoff hitter. She lifts this ball into right field, going opposite field, and falls harmlessly out of play. So a 2-2 count to Delgado. Of course, right now the strategy is not necessarily getting a hit. You just want to advance your runner from third base. That's Forrestel over at third base. McCoy at first. So a runner, you hit that ball to the right side, most likely you have a 4-0 lead. Instead, she rips it right up the middle. The liner over second base, on her way to third is Forrestel. McCoy on second, and they'll keep taking the bases. And when all's said and done, a half slide by Forrestel. Wekiva with the 5-0 lead, and
2
Delgado
RBIs
at
scored
third.
on a triple by Camila Delgado. She's got 3 bases for herself, 2 runs on the board to make it a 5-0 lead for the Mustangs. Next at the plate for Wekiva right fielder number 1, Elijah Kimber Gaines.
So Gaines steps in with that 5-0 lead. The other voice you just heard is Mark Barchi. He's also our public address announcer as well as my partner. The only PA announcer Wekiva's ever known as we wrap up the 18th season. And Delgado now is, of course, actually I could figure it out really quickly, but I'm sure she's over 800, batting .792 when she stepped into the plate. Now with 22 RBIs, and that was a debatable call there as far as those last couple of bases, but Mark decided to go ahead and give Delgado credit for the triple, so that gave her a second RBI. Most importantly, a 5-0 lead for Wekiva. As Gaines steps in, she has yet to have an official at-bat. This will be her first. She walked the first time. Cheney off the mound did a nice job of fielding it, but the errant throw did not set her feet, and that will make the score 6-0 in the bottom of the second inning.
Mustangs.
And Gaines takes second base as well.
Camila Delgado comes home to make it a 6-run lead. Kimber Gaines will reach second base on the error. She still officially does get that RBI, though. That would have come home no matter what. And next at the plate for Wekiva, shortstop number 33, Janelle Rodriguez.
So as you heard Mark say, the official scorer, that's an infield single for Gaines. She takes second on the air and gets the RBI, and this is Rodriguez. And she finds the hole down that right field line. It'll be 7-0. Gaines scores, rounding first, rounding second, rounding third. Could we have an in the park home run? Yes! Rodriguez with her first home run of the season.
Rodriguez with an inside the park home run. She also scores Kimber Gaines for a 2-run homer. And next to the plate for the Mustangs, pitcher number 21, Ariana Garcia. Well, Neil, that's been an exciting handful of at-bats here.
Yes, bottom of the second inning, a 2-0 lead has ballooned to 8-0. That ball ripped right in front of us. 0-1 count. So Rodriguez bolts around the bases. That's her first home run of the season. Two RBIs, an 8-0 lead, and ball 1-1 count now on Garcia. She is 0 for 1. Garcia, your starting pitcher. She did get an RBI in that first inning, grounded out to Anderson to bring in that runner, and now she's looking at a 2-1 count in the 8th inning. So Wekiva scored its first 4 runs without the benefit of a hit, and now they've gotten 3 hits and 4 runs as the count goes 3-1. Still only 1 out in the bottom of the second inning. Mustang Field, the site. Senior night for Wekiva, 6 seniors being honored. Three managers and 3 players. And there's another walk. This time Garcia drawing in.
Garcia draws the walk, and she's safe at first. Next to the plate, number 23, Macy Fix.
So 6 walks now credited to Cheney. And Fix steps in. Fix at bat ended the first inning. She struck out. That first inning, a pair of walks began the game, and then 3 straight outs. But Wekiva had the 2-0 lead. They've added 6
in as a
more.
courtesy runner for the pitcher at first base, number 35, Lyncia Joseph.
So Joseph down to first base, as you heard Mark say. 6 runs in the second inning, bottom of the second inning. 2 walks, a strikeout, then a walk. As we'll have a runner at second. Joseph earning her keep right off the bat. Pun intended. And then our last 3 batters, or the next 3 batters reaching base on hits, highlighted by Rodriguez, the inside the park home run, and then Garcia with the walk. And that brings Fix to the plate here in the bottom of the second as she chops that first pitch off. So Wekiva certainly taking advantage of the walks being issued by Cheney's, as well as some wild pitches and pass balls. And now a chance to get another run in. It's 8-0, bottom of the second inning, as Garcia takes third base. Wekiva looking for its fifth win of the season. It'll be 0-2. A replay of the previous pitch, just about 5 feet to the left, our left. Taylor, Thomas, and Varela, the 3 senior players being honored tonight, along with the 3 managers. And we're going to have a play at the plate. Safe. Harris dropped the ball, picked it up quickly. Did not throw it though.
Joseph scores on the passed ball.
And now a 9-0 lead.
How many hits do you have for Wekiva, Neil?
3 hits. So Mark, as we just talked about, they have gotten their hits in, but really the walks and the pass balls and wild pitches have been the bigger impact in terms of building this 9-0 lead as the count now goes full.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a bit of a struggle for consistency on the pitching game, and correction, that was ball 4, I suppose.
The walks continue.
Macy Fix walks to first. Next at the plate for the Mustangs center fielder number 32, T.T. Thomas.
7 walks now drawn by Wekiva. And Thomas comes to the plate. She led off the inning, so Wekiva's gone through the entire lineup. Ball hit squarely, gets through the legs of Cheney. Didn't have time to react. And runners at first and second.
Infield single for Thomas. We'll put Fix at second, Thomas at first. Runners at 1 and 2 for left fielder number 12, Kyla Florestil.
Florestil drawing a walk her first at bat, which was earlier this inning. So good job by Evans to keep that single from becoming more, but still only 1 out with runners at first and second. As that ball bounces, well, hit Florestil. And she'll take first base, still looking for her first plate appearance. Florestil is hit by the pitch. That loads the bases. And that also brings to the plate number 22, Emily Varela. So Varela looking at another golden opportunity. Wekiva's had a lot of them today as she takes strike 1. Bases loaded with only 1 out. So you don't need to reach base. If you hit it to the right side, you're probably going to get an RBI. And that'll be ball 1-1 count.
Of course, the even better option, if you're Florestil, is stand there and pick up a run for doing nothing. Excuse me, for Varela.
And that's exactly what's going to happen here. She won't get the RBI, but Wekiva will get the run. 10-0 now in the bottom of the second. Only 1 RBI on the seasons for Varela, so also a golden opportunity to pad her stats as well as the run total. You still have that opportunity with runners on second and third. And now she'll only have one opportunity, but a 12-0 lead for Wekiva. Still in the bottom of the second inning with one out.
Sorry, I double-clicked the button. It's only 11.
Excuse me, 11-0, as you just heard Mark say. A delivery, the 3-0 count. 3-1 count. That'll be ball 4. Varela takes first base.
Varela advances to first on the walk. Runners at 1 and 3 now. Next at the plate for the Mustangs be number 2, Jaliyah McCoy.
And McCoy steps in. She's looking for her first plate appearance. Walked in their first at-bat earlier in this inning. Scored a run as well following that walk, and she looks at ball 1. Final regular season game, also most likely the last broadcast Mark and I will be bringing to you for the 24-25 school year as the count 2-0.
Yeah, at this point, Neil, while you never say never, a bunch of extraordinary things would have to happen for Wekiva to host a playoff game in any spring sport at this point. So we will assume that this is going to be our last broadcast of season 18. Now, again, on May 21st, we are going to host spring football, but I've always considered spring football to actually be a preseason game to season 19, really, more than it is part of the previous season. The seniors don't participate at all.
3-0 count.
So we are looking forward to covering that, but this will be the last game that actually counts that we're broadcasting this year. And
okay, now it's a 3-0 count.
It's either 3-0 or 3-1. I must have missed one of them. 3-1. Okay, so I recorded a strike as a ball somewhere along the line, but nevertheless, it is 3-1 now.
Runners remain at second and third. And now we'll go full with those runners at second and third and one out, bottom of the second inning. Wekiva certainly has made the most of Evans' error, namely the walks. We've talked about that in the 2 innings. And there's strike 3. Not sure what McCoy was thinking. She swung after the pitch was caught, but...
Well, it was going to be a called strike anyway. I'm not sure where the bat was headed, but in any case, the swinging strikeout is recorded by Cheney. 2 away now for the Mustangs, and next at the plate for Wekiva, who turned to the top of the card. This is number 5, Camila Delgado.
And Delgado won't have an opportunity.
Meanwhile, though, wild pitch run scored by Flores still.
Delgado not able to have that opportunity to get 2 runs in, but bigger picture, of course, is the team's total. It's now 12-0. Delgado 1 for 1 tonight. She's been up twice, walked in the first inning, was a leadoff hitter, as you heard Mark say, so Wekiva began its offensive attack with a walk. Can't ask for a better start. And then she tripled earlier in this inning, scored 2 runs that took the lead from 6-0 to 8-0, and I really thought that was an important mark. Mark?
Yes.
Just, again, you think 6-0, you say 6-0 compared to 8-0, it just sounds more daunting to score the 8 runs over the 6. Again, I understand, of course, 8 runs is a higher total, but just saying it does sound more daunting.
And we have a coach requesting time with the umpire, and now Wekiva's Coach Brown Griffin will request time with the umpire. And it looks like we're going to get some substitutions in the outfield.
Yes, I see
number 9 headed to left field.
Number 9 is
It'll be Shailene
Watson.
And meanwhile, again, I'll put it up real quick since we have a break here. You can tell by the line score. Anytime you see 12 runs with 4 hits, you got 3 times as many runs as you have hits and only 1 error.
Yeah, that's have walks.
Yeah, that tells you. It tells you all you need to know.
Well, to Evans' credit, they have not committed an error.
Well, 1. Then we got Wekiva got an extra base on an error.
Right. Only one error in terms of fielding, but they have made a lot of errors in terms of mental mistakes. Of course, you could put walks under that. And I will have walks in just a moment. And there's a break for Evans.
Yeah, that's probably a good decision. I mean, never mind that you don't really need the run, but Varela saw that one was going to come under control pretty quickly. Still, though, ball 3.
So 9 walks issued by Cheney tonight. Evans looking for their fourth victory of the season. They come in 3-8. Wekiva 4-10, and no advancement by Varela. But the extra base is taken by
Delgado will walk to first and take second on the throw. Next to the plate for Wekiva, right fielder number 1, Alasia Kimber-Gaines.
Now Gaines, she's 0 for 1 today, but it's reached base both times at the plate. A walk in the first inning. And actually, she's 1 for 1. She did reach earlier in this inning on an infield single as she takes a hack at that first pitch, 0-1 count. She then reached second base on the throwing error that Mark just mentioned. So 1 for 1, she scored both times. And
there you see Varela doing exactly what she's trained to do, which is when you've got 2 outs on the board, you're running at anything that looks like it might be in play.
0-2 count now to Gaines as she steps back into the plate.
And Varela can't resist.
Third out
Varela
of the
is
inning.
thrown out at home.
Second out.
On the attempted base taken on the wild pitch, and that will take us to the end of the second inning. In that half inning, 10 runs scored on 4 hits with 1 Trojan error, leaving 1 on base. And the score now stands 12-0 at the end of 2 innings. So our inning by inning scoreboard here is not designed to go past 9. It only has 1 digit. That's why it says 0. But that's okay. I can manually fix that. There we go. All right, we'll be back with more from Mustang Field after a quick break. Checking into the lineup to start the third inning. At the 8th position is number 6, Kenya Veridu. So again, some lineup changes coming in. We know that we saw Shailene Watson coming in as well. We assume we'll see her at some point in the actual lineup.
Veralua Jr.
And just keep me honest here, Neil. We're at position number 8.
Actually,
Number 2. Okay, so this is in for Mafunga.
yeah. 12-0 lead for Wekiva. They scored 2 in the first inning. So got off to a solid start on senior night. 6 in total, 3 managers, 3 players. Put 10 across the board in the last inning as the count now goes 2-0. on Varsity. So certainly took control of the game in that second inning. Now in the position to get their 5th win of the season against 10 losses. Of course, next week, as the count now 3-0, is the district championship tournaments. This is the regular season finale for both teams. Evans 3-8. A victory certainly is the way you want to end the season, have some momentum heading into the playoffs, the postseason mark. As 4 straight balls from Garcia begins this third inning. And that'll bring Cheney to the plate.
Verity walks to first. Next to the plate for Evans, pitcher number 2, Kaylee Cheney.
Cheney, no official at bat. She walked in her first at bat, first plate appearance. That was in the first inning, and she starts this at bat with a strike. That'll take the count to 0-2. Wekiva, a member of Class 6A.
That's going in play.
Contact.
And yeah, it's over the center fielder's head.
And no shutout for Garcia and Wekiva. That'll cut the lead to 12-2.
2-run inside the park home run for Cheney, as that also scores Varsity. 2 runs on the board now for Evans. Next to the plate for the Trojans, number 18, Tykia Justice.
And Justice steps in. She's looking for her first hit of the game. 0 for 1, struck out in the first inning, brought that first inning to end, and she'll still be looking for that first hit, but she'll reach base for the first time.
Justice advances to first on the hit batsman. Next to the plate for Evans, second baseman, number 12, Victoria Anderson. So now, Wekiva is going to have to tighten up their pitching game. Otherwise, we're going to see a repeat of the bottom of the second.
Yeah, well, with that said, and I mentioned it before, Wekiva's pitching has been inconsistent from Garcia. Of course, she's your number 2 pitcher, getting the start today to close out the regular season. Throw down the second. Wild gets by Fix. And now a runner at third, still nobody out.
So that'll be Wekiva's first error. Again, for those of you unfamiliar, you have a certain amount of indemnity as a fielder when it comes to stolen bases. You cannot be charged with an error for a stolen base even if you muff the throw or the catch. However, if because of muffing the throw or the catch they get an additional base beyond the one they were trying to steal, then you absolutely can be charged with an error.
So Garcia, through the first 2 innings, she was able to get strikeouts when she needed them. She had actually 5 strikeouts, 2 in the first, struck out the side in the second. And that's been her saving grace, so to speak, being able to get those 2 and 3 strikeouts, that 2 and third strike when she absolutely needed them. But that has not been the case here in this third inning. And of course, now 2 runs on the board.
That's in play, going straight to third. It sneaks past the Mustangs. That was, let's see, that was Varela that potentially had a crack at it. I don't know, Neil, how do you feel about that? Do you want to give the single or the E?
Yeah, that's, I'd give her a single on that.
RBI picked up by Anderson. 3 runs on the board now for Evans. Next at the plate, third baseman, number 15, Crystal.
So Crystal S. steps in. She's 0 for 1, struck out in her first at-bat in the second inning. And she swings, strike three, 12-3 score now. Evans has cut into that lead. 3 runs in the bottom or the top of the third. And will it be another one? Yep, falls softly in front of Thomas. So still nobody out.
A soft line drive will pick up the single, and that puts Crystal at first, Victoria at second. Next at the plate for Evans, catcher, number 7, DeAndrea Harris.
Runners at first and second, still nobody out. Top of the third inning, 12-3 lead for Wekiva. Ball chopped down to first, scoots by McCoy, and everybody advances a base. So Evans now putting together a serious threat. Bases loaded, nobody out.
You want to call that a single, Tim? It was close. Harris records the single to load up the bases for the Trojans.
So 3 runs on the board already in the top of the third. But now this could become a major dent into Wekiva's lead with those bases loaded and nobody out. Teston at the plate. She has not had an official at bat. Walked in her first plate appearance in the second inning. And to reiterate, through those first 2 innings, Garcia was able to get the strikes when they needed it. She had a total of 5, unable to get them so far in this third inning, and that's why 3 runs have been pushed across as the count goes 1-0. Evans comes in at 3-8, looking for their 4th win. Wekiva 4-10. Obviously not playing a full slate of games this season for either team. 25-year maximum allowed by the FHSAA. Regular season finale as the sun now descending on Mustang Field. Of course, the softball field, we say it during the baseball broadcast as well, but it's absolutely true. Right next to 429 as the count now 1-1. Literally, if you hit the ball out of the park, it's going to land right next. It's going to land on the shoulder of the 429.
So far, I have never seen a home run actually hit into the right-of-way. It is theoretically possible, but you'd have to really have the wind in your favor to get it to go quite that far.
Yeah. The ball most likely will roll into the shoulder, but again, the point is that we are literally right next to the 429 in the softball field. As Garcia uncorks the wild pitch, and now a 12-4 lead as the count goes full to to Teston. So now Wekiva built a 12-0 lead on a lot of errors, not necessarily tangible errors, throwing or fielding, but several mental errors. Only 4 hits, and now they're starting to return that favor. Still nobody out in the top of the third inning. Strike 3. Tested. Frozen at the plate. And there's the
Garcia
strikeout.
records the called strikeout to put 1 away for the Trojans. Next to the plate for Evans. Checking into the lineup for the first time, number 11, Sydney.
So Sydney at the plate. And she takes ball 1. Can't emphasize it enough. Still only 1 out. Excuse me. Yeah, 1 out. We're in the top of the 3rd inning. A 12-0 lead taken into this inning by Wekiva. Now 12-4. And that'll take the count to 2-1, that ball. Sun descending on Mustang Field. It's senior night.
In the dirt.
That'll cut the lead to 12-5 and take the count to 3-1.
It is a beautiful, albeit blustery day for softball here at Mustang Field. Nice, cool evening, but the fans over here on the first baseline are getting facefuls of clay as it gets blown up.
There's
another one in the dirt,
4.
and Mustangs lose sight of it, but no advancement other than, of course, the walk.
And that will bring up Mosley.
Sydney walks to first. Runners now at 1 and 3. And now the Trojans return to the top of the card with shortstop number 7, Jalasia Mosley.
And 79 degrees, since you were talking about the weather, Mark. And Mosley is the 9th batter in this inning. So Evans now has gone through the entire lineup. Wekiva did that in the 2nd inning. Still only 1 out. Runners at 1st and 3rd. All 5 of those runs scored by the first 5 batters in this inning. Mosley 0 for 1. She walked to lead off the game, struck out in her last at bat, which was in the 2nd. Now looking at a 1-1 count. Regular season finale for both these teams. The district championship tournament is next week. Ball ripped, finds that hole just to the right of Fix. And now runners on 1st and 2nd. And no, actually it was a foul ball. So I guess the ball must have hit the plate, or, well, is she out? Yeah, Mosley is out.
Hit herself. Okay. Runner interference is called, and so that will be 2 away now for the Trojans. Runners remain where they were at 1 and 3. And next at the plate for Evans, number 6 checking into the lineup. That is Kenya Veridu.
So Veridu, this is actually her 2nd at-bat or plate appearance. She does
so
not
a tough
have
break for Evans there. They had a lot of momentum going, picking up 5 runs to counter the Mustangs' 10 from the previous half inning, but the runner interference call. Now that looks like it's going to be a clean hit.
And that's going to bring in a run. Actually, yes, 1 run, 12-6 now. And scooting over to
RBI
3rd.
double picked up by Veridu. That put runners at 2 and 3 and 6 runs on the board for the Trojans. As Harris comes home. We'll pause for a quick timeout.
Meeting at the mound. And now our umpire slowly making his way out there to break it up. Give him a few more seconds. Wekiva scoring 2 runs in the bottom of the 1st. They played at 10 in the 2nd. The answer has come here in the top of the 3rd with 6 from Evans. Five hits. 5 hits, 2 walks, and a hit batsman. Collected by Evans. Strike 1 to Cheney, who's also the starting pitcher. And speaking of hits, Cheney with the big blast, the highlight reel blast, a 2-run home run, the first 2 runs of the game, and that really got this momentum rolling for Evans. Certainly took some weight off of their shoulders getting those first couple of runs across the plate. Contact, right down to Fix, scoops it up, throw over to first, and that brings the inning to an end, but
Fix
Evans with the answer.
Throw to first down. That takes us to the middle of the 3rd inning. In that half inning, 6 runs scored on 4 hits with 1 Mustang error, leaving 2 on base, and that makes it a 12-6 ball game at the end of 2.5 innings. Back with more from Mustang Field in a moment.
And we also begin the top of the second, or bottom of the 3rd inning. Wekiva holding the 12-6 lead cut in half by Evans. Certainly they answer. That'll be ball 1. See if Wekiva can answer Evans' answer. So Gaines now with the 1-0 count. She scored twice, reached base both times. 1 for 1, a walk, and reached base in her last at-bat. On an infield single, took second. On a throwing error, now a 1-1 count. I'm Neil Fisher. The other voice you're hearing is Mark Barchi. He is also our public address announcer, and that'll take the count to 2-1 as Cheney lost the grip on that ball. Senior night. 6 individuals being honored, 3 managers, 3 players. Gaines steps back in. And now she'll be looking at a 3-1 count.
That pitch up in stratosphere and nobody on base to take advantage of it, but it does bring up the 3-1. Had to scoot over to the visitor dugout between half innings, change the light filter on the first base camera because the sun is going down and it is getting dark as we get a strike to bring it up to a full count. And you can see that's a little bit brighter now. It was getting awfully dim earlier.
So both these teams in each of the half innings, their leadoff hitter has reached base, and that trend continues. Now six in a row in terms of half innings. And that'll bring Rodriguez
Kimber
to the
Gaines
plate.
walks to first. Next to the plate for the Mustangs, shortstop number 33, Janelle Rodriguez.
Rodriguez with the highlight Sports Center reel hit. She blasted a 2-run jack in her last at bat. And she'll take first base. First pitch hits her. No, they actually hit the bat. Okay, so it's actually a 0-1 count. Rodriguez struck out in her first at bat. Wekiva scoring 2 runs in the first inning, then 10 in the second. Evans answering with 6 in the last inning. That was the top of the third to at least get this within a manageable deficit. Of course, now their task, as the count goes 2-1, is to prevent that lead from getting back up to 12 runs. In other words, get out of this inning without giving up any runs. Both these teams have certainly shown as the count goes 3-1. Excuse me,
No
2-1.
trouble there getting the base on the wild pitch.
And both these teams have definitely shown that they can put runs up in clusters.
Another little statistical nuance there. Sometimes it's a bit of the scorer's discretion whether it's a wild pitch or a passed ball in terms of whether the catcher could have made the stop with ordinary effort. As this one's headed to shortstop, and that is a good catch. That's number 17. That is Jerlasia Mosley on the fly catch at shortstop. One away for the Mustangs. Next at the plate for Wekiva, pitcher number 21, Ariana Garcia. Anyways, I started to say, sometimes it's discretionary whether it's a wild pitch or a passed ball. However, if the ball touches the dirt before it crosses the plate, then it is always a wild pitch. It does not matter if the catcher could have, should have, would have made the play. It's always the pitcher's fault if the ball doesn't make it
Ball
to the
squid
plate.
back to Cheney. She scoops it up over to first, and that'll be 2 outs. So 1 more out, and we will have our first half inning with no runs put across home plate. Runner does advance to third, though.
Play is made at first. 2 away now.
And now at the plate, that's Fix. She's 0 for 1 tonight as she's unable to catch up on the slower heat
Lacey
from
Fix
Cheney.
now at the plate for Wekiva.
Unable to catch up with the slower heat from Fix. Struck out in the first inning, walked in the second, and scored a run. So to reiterate, 10 runs put across home plate in that second inning as the count now 1-1. And just a quick note, at least as far as Max Preps recording, Evans, there are 3 other Evans nationally, and this probably will be a run. Yes, it is. Harris having to deal with that unfortunate bounce, and now 13-6 in favor of Wekiva.
Kimber Gaines comes home on the wild pitch. That makes it a 13-6 ball game for Wekiva.
So 2 of those 3 other teams across the nation, 2 of those 3 other Evans High School are also in the city with the same name. Evans, Louisiana, Evans, Georgia, and then Event, Texas. Ball slapped back to Cheney, off the mound quickly, over to first, and that'll bring the inning to an end. Wekiva does put 1 more run up, increase their lead to 13-6.
Which is taken care of by Takia Justice at first, and that will take us to the end of the third inning. In that half inning, 1 run scored on no hits with no Trojan errors, leaving 1 on base, and the score now stands 13-6 at the end of 3 innings. Back with more from Mustang Field after a quick break. Once again, we want to remind everyone here in the ballpark that we are live streaming tonight's game. So if you had friends and family that are stuck at work or anywhere else, whether they're in Orlando, Apopka, or anywhere in the world, just direct them to any of two places. We simulcast the same live stream, two different places. We are on nfhsnetwork.com. That is the official online home of the Florida High School Athletic Association, and the only place you can get playoff games, so make sure you're a member of that. But even if you're not a member, that's okay. We're happy to provide tonight's game absolutely free of charge. All you have to do is open up the YouTube app on your favorite computer, smart TV, or mobile device, search Wekiva Sports, and it will come right up. And as we enter the bottom of the fourth inning, the Trojans will begin in the fourth position in their lineup with first baseman number 18, Takia Justice.
In Justice, as she looks at ball one, she'll be followed by Anderson and Crystal S. Due up. And a 13-6 lead now for Wekiva. It did look not that long ago like Wekiva was going to threaten to bring the run rule into this, just complete dominance and control as a count 2-0. 6 runs put up on the board by Evans in the last inning, the third, to at least make that deficit more manageable and give them an opportunity to make this a competitive game.
Justice advances to first on the hit batsman. Next at the plate for the Trojans, second baseman, number 12, Victoria Anderson. So yeah, Neil, if you didn't know better, you would have thought that you were watching that Cubs Diamondbacks game from earlier this week.
So Anderson, 1 for 1. She walked in the second and singled and scored a run in the third as she starts this at bat with a ball down at second base. Out.
Caught stealing at second, one away.
So that's the second time in this game that Evans has got the leadoff runner on, but then we're caught stealing.
And you know, Neil, I got to say, just anecdotally, outside of championship caliber teams, frankly, stolen bases are successful a lot more often than they aren't, particularly in softball, probably more so than baseball. It's just so hard with the aerodynamics of the ball to get it all the way out there in time. This one is headed what should be an unassisted put out, and it is. Mustangs make the U3 thanks to McCoy. 2 away now for the Trojans. Next at the plate will be third baseman number 15, Crystal S.
So what started off with a lot of promise, hit batsman by Justin in just a matter of a couple of minutes, now 2 outs. And as you heard Mark say, he was also the public address announcer, Crystal S. at the plate. She now starts off with ball 1. She's 1 for 2, struck out in the second, singled in the third, and scored a run. So Garcia and Wekiva's account goes 2-0, looking for their first, well actually what would be their third inning with no runs scored. All 6 of those runs put up on the board by Evans in the third inning. As they sent 11 batters to the plate in that inning, and now a 2-1 count. Bit of animated call there from a referee, Mark.
Yeah, I got into that one.
So certainly you knew that was a strike. And that'll even the count at 2-2. Crystal unable to catch up on that outside heat. And now 1 pitch away from reiterating what could have been a very promising start to the inning and very quickly coming to an end. Just 1 strike away And it won't happen in that pitch. We'll have a full count instead. Crystal S. steps back into the plate. 3-2 count. 13-6 lead for Wekiva in the top of the fourth. Smack right off McCoy. Picks it up. Nice job of keeping her poise and getting the third out.
And welcome back to Mustang Field. We apologize for the technical disruption there. We had a little bit of a glitch with our computer, but all you missed was a double from Thomas. Yes, that's right. T.T. Thomas opened up this half inning, and right now you are looking at Leah Destine, who checks into the lineup and picks up foul ball. For what it's worth, we are still getting our graphics controller back online, so the count is accurate, but the batter and pitcher are not.
0-2 count. And by the way, Thomas now 2 for 2. As Destine is retired. That will be the first out of the inning. Thomas with the walk. She led off with that double, as Mark said, walk, and then a single and a double, scored 2 runs.
Next at the plate for Wekiva, number 22, Emily Varela, and she'll take one to the shoulder and take first base.
So Varela, she's 0 for 1. She struck out in the third inning. The second inning.
Next at the plate for the Mustangs will be number 2, Jelaya McCoy.
Varela then walked, and then, of course, as you just saw, hit by the pitch. That brings us to McCoy. She's 0 for 1, walked in the second inning, scored a run, struck out in the second inning. And she comes up with the runner at first and 1 out, 13-6 lead for Wekiva. They've scored in every inning as the count begins at 0-1. Wekiva scored 2 runs in the first, 10 in the second, 1 in the third. We are in the fourth inning, regular season finale. Both these teams could use a win going into the district championship tournament. Have some momentum. What's been a long season. Wekiva 4-10. That'll allow that wild pitch, allow Thomas, both runners actually, to advance. So now runners at second and third, and 1 out for McCoy, who comes in with 3 RBIs. So not only a chance for McCoy to increase the team total, but her personal total in RBI. And that ball chopped into foul territory. Evans scoring all 6 of their runs in the third inning. That did cut the lead at that time in half. It was 12-6. Certainly at least has made this game look like we're going to go beyond the run rule. Gives them a chance to extend the game, and now Wekiva continues to put it up, taking advantage of the mental errors. Cheney with another wild pitch. Of course, Thomas scores. Varela as well.
Thomas comes home. Varela at third now. 14-6 ball game.
So the run rule is it's 15 at the end of 4. Or 10 at the end of 5. Of course, the home team always gets its last at bat. That's for future use. That is not the case tonight. Wekiva, the home team, they are the team in the lead, but brought that up because it was 12-0. This ball ripped hard. Nice job by Mosley to scoop it up. McCoy's safe at first. So we've seen that 3 or 4 times tonight where the infielder does a nice job, plants her feet, charges the ball, fields the ball cleanly, but then with the bad throw over to first, the inaccurate throw.
Varela comes home.
And that makes it a 15-6 ball game.
Safe at first. So, Neil, I'm going to award that as an RBI because that would have scored with or without the error. However, I'll put it as an E for the first base.
And so now a 15-6 lead. And Continuing my thought, I brought up the run rule because it was 12-0 going into the third inning with Evans coming at bat. So certainly at that moment, at that point in the game, it looked like the run rule was going to come into effect. As now we'll get McCoy takes second base. Evans scored the 6 runs to at least, for the time being, to make this look like the game was going to extend. Now, of course, it's 9 runs, so we're back in that territory where we might see the run rule as the count now 1-0 to Delgado. Delgado, as good a leadoff hitter as there is, not just a hitter, but as typical, fulfilling all the requirements of a leadoff hitter, batting .792 coming into this game. And now she'll get a chance to pick up her 23rd RBI of the game. She's been on base all 3 times tonight, 2 walks and a triple in between. She got 2 RBIs on that triple. So certainly she's most likely batting over 800. And she won't get that chance, but now 16-6 lead.
So now, as you mentioned, Neil, we are into that territory where Evans will be on the clock, that they will need to produce some offense in the top of the 5th inning in order to keep the game alive.
Yeah, and let's not forget, with Delgado at the plate, to continue my thought, to piggyback on what I just said, and she's going to go down to first. She's not going to get a chance to hit, but certainly Wekiva a chance to get that lead to 11 runs. So not only will Evans need 1 run, they might even be needing 11 runs. Only 1 out in the top of the 4th, or bottom of the 4th. That's Gaines now stepping into the plate. And Delgado now reaching base 4 times in 4 plate appearances. And now a chance to score a 2nd run as she easily gets down to second base. No throw by Harris. Senior night at Mustang Field, regular season game finale for both these teams. And Delgado taking off to third base. So now only 90 feet away from an 11-run lead. A 1-0 count now to Gaines. Excuse me, a 2-0 count. A 3-0 count.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm still trying to fix the graphics. The batter and pitcher are frozen, and I'm falling behind on the count.
And now 4 straight balls. Runners at first and third. And Gaines, like Delgado, has now reached base 4 times in 4 plate appearances, 3 walks and an infield single.
Kimber Gaines advances to first, runners at 1 and 3 now for shortstop number 33, Janelle Rodriguez. Well, I may just have to wait until the half inning and shut down the software and restart it.
And Rodriguez stepping in with a 1-for-3 day. And now she'll get a chance to get 2 RBIs in as Gaines scooting down to second base. No throw again, but Rodriguez having the biggest, or the most highlight reel hit of the day, a 2-run jack in the 2nd inning. And now a 17-6 lead. Delgado crossing home plate. Wekiva with only 1 hit in this inning. That was the leadoff double by Thomas. Since then, the batters have reached an advanced base, a hit batsman, an error by the shortstop, and 2 walks. And now there's a runner at third with 1 out. Rodriguez at the plate, the 1-0 count. And she hits her 2nd ball hard into left field, gets by Watson all the way to the fence. That'll bring in Gaines easily, and sliding into third with the triple is Rodriguez. 2 extra base hits for the shortstop.
Rodriguez with a triple, her 2nd extra base hit of the night, and that will also pick up the RBI as Kimber Gaines comes home. Next to the plate for Wekiva, pitcher number 21, Ariana Garcia.
And so Wekiva, the 12-run lead, chance to get it up to 13, as you just heard Mark say. My partner, as well as our public address announcer at Wekiva, runner at third. Garcia looking for her first hit of the night, but she did get an RBI in the first inning. A ground out to Anderson, the second baseman, brought in that run, now a 2-0 count. Walked in the second and grounded out to the first baseman, or actually to Cheney, the pitcher, in her last at-bat. That was in the third inning. And now Wekiva will up that lead to 19-6 with the wild pitch. So please remember that we are a skeleton crew. It's just me and Mark. We don't have statistician or spotters when we do these games, so I can't give you an exact amount. But of course, if you have been watching, you know this. If you just tuned in, there's been several pitches, several runs scored on wild pitches, runner at third base. And Garcia will take first base on the hit batsman.
Garcia advances to first.
And that will bring up Fix.
Next to the plate for Wekiva, number 23, Macy Fix.
Fix, the ninth batter.
And is a courtesy runner at first base for the pitcher, number 35, Lincia Joseph.
So Joseph coming in as a courtesy runner for the third time in this game. And Fix now means that Wekiva has batted around the lineup in this fourth inning, taking a 7-run lead to 13. If they can hold on, this will be their 5th victory of the season against 10 defeats. And the lights just turned on as Fix unable to catch up with that high heat. That was out of the strike zone.
Now, I'll let you in on a little secret, and that is if the home team is up by 10 or more runs such that the middle of the 5th inning might not happen, then the 5th inning stretch will move from the middle of the 5th to the top of the 5th.
Three-one count on Fix, ninth batter in this inning, and she'll take ball 4.
Fix advances to first. That puts runners at 1 and 2. And next to the plate for Wekiva will be center fielder number 32, Takesha Thomas.
14 walks now, drawn by Wekiva. And Thomas at the plate. She's reached base as she takes ball 1. 3 times in 3 plate appearances. A walk, a single, and a double. She scored all 3 times as well. Now with an opportunity to get an RBI. And now the 1-1 count. 2-1 count. And that throw high down to Crystal S. Runners at second and third now with only 1 out. So Thomas in about as good a position as a batter can hope for in terms of getting a run in. She doesn't need a single, doesn't need to reach base, just put the ball in contact on the right side. Wekiva's led from their first at bat. They played at 2 in the first, 10 in the second, 1 in the third, and 6 in the fourth. as we got a stoppage.
And I'm going to take this opportunity to reboot the software real quick. Don't go anywhere. Don't adjust your television set. We'll be right back. Okay, thanks for your patience. We just rebooted our software to see if it would help, which it did not. That's all right. We can survive one more half inning.
19-6 lead. Wekiva's led from the get-go. And now 20-6. Another wild pitch. Regular season finale for both these teams, the district championship tournaments next week. 3-1 count on Thomas, looking to go 4 for 4 in terms of reaching base. Also the last broadcast, most likely, for this 2024-25 school year, the 18th for Wekiva. As first base, Thomas walks the 90 feet.
Thomas walks to first, runners at 1 and 3 now. Next to the plate will be left fielder number 12, Kyla Florestal.
And Thomas now 4 for 4 in terms of reaching base. And Florestal, she has yet to get a hit, only one official at bat, 0 for 1. Down to second base, Thomas. Florestal walking in the second inning twice. She came up to bat twice in the second inning, walked both times, scored a run. Struck out. Actually, Florestal is 0 for 0. Destine batted the last time in this position. So now the 1-1 count on the left fielder. Mustang Field, the site for the regular season finale. Wekiva looking for its 5th win of the season against 10 losses. Evans, they're going to have to do some work, a lot of work, to avoid losing for the 10th time. They come in 3-8.
Now pitching for Evans, number 12, Victoria Anderson.
So Anderson, who was at second base, takes over the pitching duties, as you just heard Mark. That's Mark Barchi, who's also our public address announcer. So Cheney goes 4 1/3 innings.
And I'll tell you what, I am going to take this opportunity while she warms up to try to fix what is broken about the computer. So your live stream is going to pause for a second, as that was a very, very wild practice pitch. Okay, we are back. All you missed is a ball. Or sorry, excuse me, a strike. And the controls are working again. Excellent. We're back in action. So for what it's worth, I'm sure this isn't quite accurate, but I had 79 balls, 38 strikes. Make it probably 41 strikes when you count the in plays and the fouls. So that's kind of where Cheney left it.
And now at the plate, that's Florestal. 2-2 count, 20-6 lead for Wekiva in the regular season finale. And on the mound is Anderson, and that'll take the count to 3-2 with only one out. Oh, Evans catching a break on that wild pitch a couple pitches ago. Fix staying at third. Here's the full count, and now the bases will be loaded for Varela.
Flores still walks to first. No, excuse me, that's Destine, who checked in the lineup and now walks to first. And now, next at the plate will be number 22, Emily Varela.
So Varela steps in. She's 0 for 1 tonight. Struck out in the first inning as she looks at ball one. Then drew a walk in the second and was hit by a pitch in the fourth, and then also scored. Is the 12th batter in this fourth inning. What was a 13-6 lead, now 20-6. Make that 21-6.
And Varela catches a piece of the pitch. She will advance to first, and that will bring home Macy Fix.
So Varela,
next at the plate for Wekiva, number 2, McCoy.
So Varela, hit by the pitch, second consecutive at-bat. Does get her first RBI of the season. Of the game. And second of the season. And I believe
we have now reached a 15-run differential, which is enough to conclude the ball game at the fourth inning. 21-6 your final score. That will be 21 runs on 7 hits with 1 error for the Mustangs, 6 runs on 4 hits with 1 error for the Trojans, and that will conclude season 18 of Mustang baseball and softball. We'd like to thank everyone for coming out to support your Mustang and Trojan athletes. Thanks also to those of you who joined us online for tonight's game. This is the last broadcast of season 18, unless you count our May 21st broadcast of the spring football game, which we are looking forward to bringing you as well. But arguably, that's really the first broadcast of season 19. So thanks for your support of Wekiva Athletics tonight and all year long. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, X, and YouTube at Wekiva Sports, and bookmark WekivaMustangs.com for all of your scores, schedules, and more. And now, if you'll indulge me one last time, because it is senior night, because it is the last game of the season, and because we did not get to the 5th inning, it must be time, one last time, for the 7th inning stretch, or the 5th inning stretch. So join us now as we bid farewell to season 18 for Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Take me out to the ball game, take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I never get back, for it's root for the Mustangs. If they don't win, it's a shame, for it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Once again, thanks for tuning in tonight. Thanks for coming out. We hope that if you are here in the ballpark, please drive carefully and arrive home safely. Those of you watching online, please subscribe before you go. And we will see you May 21st for spring football, and then we will see you in the fall for season 19 of Wekiva Mustang Athletics. For Neil Fisher, this is Mark Barchi, the voice of the Mustangs, wishing you a good night and a great rest of your spring.